guys, it's Justine, and today we're going to be checking out the brand new iPads. I am so excited because these come in 4 amazing colors, and one of those colors happens to be pink. I mean, look at this thing. Have you seen a more beautiful thing? No, you haven't. It's pink! I am absolutely obsessed with this color. It looks so good. There's actually a few things in this new iPad that I've been wanting in an iPhone for a long time. They have now decided to put USB-C in the new iPads, which is pretty exciting, except for one thing, because these new iPads only work with the Apple Pencil 1. And the Apple Pencil 1 is a lightning connector. So to use this Apple Pencil with this iPad, you will have to use a tiny little adapter. But if you do have an old Apple Pencil 1, you will need to buy the $9.99 adapter to be able to use it with these iPads. The thing that I'm most excited about is they have a landscape camera, and they don't have this on the Pros, so this is only on this new version of the iPads. So this is gonna be such a huge game changer for doing conference calls. And that is one of the reasons that I was not able for the past couple of years to be able to use my iPad Pro as my main computer, because when I'm doing conference calls and you're in this landscape mode, having the camera on the top is so not convenient. Even with the new iPad Pros, they do have center stage, but that M2, it is still not on the top like these new iPads. So that's something that I'm kind of upset about that they didn't do in the Pro models. But if you do want the landscape mode and these new colors, then this is the iPad for you. These do have the A14 Bionic chip, and like I said, they do have USB-C, and they also now have Touch ID, something that I've also really been wanting in the iPhone. But they did bring it to the iPads now. These are now shipping with iPad OS 16, which is pretty exciting because I have never actually used it very much. So now that I have the new iPads, I'm able to really test that out. There are 2 options that you can choose from. You can choose from the Wi-Fi or the 5G version. So depending upon if you're going to be on the go and you want to have the option of adding 5G, I would definitely recommend going with the cellular version, so you can always have that option to upgrade. Obviously with that, there is a price increase, but the starting price for these iPads is $449. Now the display is a 10.9 liquid retina display, and it goes up to 500 nits of brightness. This obviously is one of the lower end models, so you're not going to be getting the high-end HDR Pro display that they have on the iPad Pros. But for most people, when you're just doing simple everyday tasks and also using this for illustration or watching content, you're probably not really going to notice that much of a difference. So it's 7 millimeters thin, and it weighs about a pound, so it is a little bit lighter than the previous version and a little bit thinner. And of course, you have the Apple Pencil 1, and like I said before, the Apple Pencil 2 does not work with this iPad. Something else, because I've always been so accustomed to using the iPad Pros, is this doesn't have the Pro Motion display. So you may notice a difference between even your newer iPhones and the iPad Pros, because it is a little bit smoother of a display on the higher end ones. But for the most part, I do feel like a lot of people who are using these are probably not really going to notice that much. Once you go Pro Motion though, I'm telling you man, it's pretty tough to go back. So here's the landscape. Check that out. I can't even tell you how excited I am about this. Like, this is probably my top feature of this iPad. I feel like I can actually now use this as a dedicated device for doing conference calls. Even though it may not seem like a big deal, this is a huge deal. This will actually shoot 4K. It is a 12 megapixel camera, so you are actually able to take photos and do videos with this. Although it still cracks me up seeing people creating content with an iPad. Like, it just looks so silly. Even though these can shoot incredibly high quality content, there's just something about it that just looks super silly. Okay, I'm gonna take a little video with the iPad. 4K content, get hyped for it. Now, when you first get a device, I do recommend going in and changing some of the settings. So right now my settings are 1080 at 30 frames a second. So we're gonna change it to 4K 30, and we should be good to go. Because a lot of times these aren't set at that, so you wanna make sure you're shooting at the highest possible quality. Also does slow-mo, 1080, 120, and 240. Look at that. Hello, peace sign. Okay, but it looks so huge on the screen. Like, look at that. Hello, it's me. I'm vlogging. This is gonna be my new vlog lifestyle. I'm gonna start vlogging with the pink iPad. It would be pretty on brand though, not gonna lie. Okay, let's take a photo here. Here you go. I like to call this my social media hands. All right, let's look at these photos. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. This is quality content. Oh my God, the new set looks so good. The little piggy in the background. Live photo. Loop. Social media hands. It actually looks really good. Like, I'm pretty impressed. Like, this looks super clear. Has it been there the whole time? Okay, we're gonna move the chair. I just saw it in my photo. Something else that is new, they have this new iPad folio case, which looks super cool. Now you might be like, why is this coming in two pieces? What's the deal? So this is kind of the back. So this will just kind of pop right on like so. And this allows you to just kind of use this as a tablet, like completely plain, normal, everyday, what's up, you look great. If you want to pop on the keyboard, it has the smart connector right there at the bottom. Look at that. Look at that. Now this is awesome because this basically is turning this iPad into like a mini little computer. Now they've had the Magic Keyboard for a while on the iPad Pros and it has completely changed everything for me. I feel like a broken record because I continually keep saying how incredible that Magic Keyboard is. So I'm really excited that they've kind of brought a version of that to the regular iPad. It has an incredible keyboard. It's a really nice, easy, fun type. Plus it has a trackpad, which is cool because it's a different kind of way of using and interacting with your iPad because it's not actually like a mouse cursor. It's kind of like you're touching the screen, but you're not. So you can see like the little cursor turns into sort of this little circle, and that allows you to touch each of the icons. So the regular folio obviously doesn't have the keyboard. So it is so crazy how that just comes off so easily. So with that smart connector, it does allow you to easily take that on and off. Now the Smart Folio I feel like is the way that most people are gonna go with their devices. And you honestly can connect a USB keyboard to these very, very easily. I did a video a while ago talking about the Logitech keyboards, and some of those keyboards allow you to connect the Bluetooth to your iPad. So basically if you want a keyboard, you can add a keyboard. Look at that! The mouse has been connected. Okay, now let's connect the keyboard. So in comparison to the Smart Folio, which is awesome, it's really, really nice, but it is $249, which is basically half the price of the iPad. I know. So if you are wanting a keyboard mouse combination and you don't want to spend that much money, you can get this Logitech K380 and this Logitech Pebble mouse for what, how much did you say they were?
The mouse is $20 and the keyboard is $30.
50 bucks. You can get both of these for 50 bucks. This is not sponsored. I have previously done a sponsored video for them, but this is not a part of the sponsored integration. I just genuinely actually really like these keyboards. So it's kind of cool to see that there are other options out there. And that's not saying that this is not a really incredible device. I mean, for $249, I mean, I honestly think that you should take me out on a date tonight. I like pizza, please, and a Caesar salad, and maybe a ginger ale. This keyboard mouse combo looks great with the new blue iPad. Like, check that out. That looks fresh. I'm gonna put this luxury case back on because it's pretty nice. And I wanna show you guys how it types. I like that you can touch the display too. Like sometimes I'm so accustomed to doing that because I use my iPad so much that when I touch my MacBook, I'm like, what are you doing? You can't do that. But it just seems like you should. I also like the trackpad, so this does give you that option of, you know, being able to do things like selecting and clicking. It's basically a trackpad on your iPad. This does have landscape stereo speakers, so I'm gonna watch a little piece of content here to see how it sounds. Another thing that I do like about this keyboard is you can actually control a lot of different things. So you can control the screen brightness, you can control the audio, you can also put it into do not disturb mode, and you can search, you can dictate. So there are various things that this keyboard can allow you to do. Right now we're gonna listen to some content. So I'm watching Mythic Quest.
Cool. No, it is cool though, because it provides an entirely new game mechanic. Digging. The players can now literally change the landscape of the game.
Not bad.
The shovel needs a backstory. Who birthed
When I'm sitting here watching it,
gods themselves.
pretty good experience. Okay, let's test out Procreate. So here's the USB-C to Lightning dongle. So we're gonna plug this in, just like so. We're gonna plug in USB-C here, and then we plug this in. Let it be known that I'm not a fan of this, but this is what it is. I guess it's better than this sticking straight out of the laptop like previous versions, but this is what we need to do to get it to work and to charge and to connect. So now let's see, let's write something. Oh, look at that. Look at this art. Like, can you believe how talented? Look at that. That's just some art right there. So now there are a few differences between the Apple Pencils. This Apple Pencil obviously is the Apple Pencil 1. It is a little bit shinier. And on the Apple Pencil 2, it's more of a matte kind of finish. And this will allow you to do gesture controls. So when you double tap, you can have it do things like undo or switch your brushes. This one does not have that feature, and it also is the glossy finish. So I do sometimes find that the Apple Pencil 2 is a little bit easier to hold, but drawing on this feels almost identical to drawing with the two. So I really didn't feel like there was much of a difference between the two. Still, the charging, I just think it's so silly and I don't really like it very much, but I do understand kind of coming from the perspective of a lot of people already have these Apple Pencil 1s and they may be the people that are upgrading to these iPads, so they still want to be able to use this with their new iPad. I get it, but I don't understand. I don't understand. All right, let's see if I can find somebody to talk to me on FaceTime. This does have the new center stage, and wow, do I love the landscape camera already. Oh my goodness! Hi, there's Bree! Hi, Brittany.
Where you at?
Well, I'm in my studio, because I work here. This is where I work. Do you like my light?
Who's that?
That's Jake.
Say hi, Jake. Here.
Look what I have.
A piggy.
It is a piggy. Do you want to give the piggy a name?
Kiwi.
Kiwi! Oh, okay. This is Kiwi. Kiwi the piggy. Do you know that I used to have a hummingbird named Kiwi? Do you think my video quality looks nice?
Let me turn you around.
You know what? So I have this new thing. It's called center stage. So look, when I run around, it'll follow me. Look at that. Do you like my office? Bryn, do you think that you'll come visit me one day?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, it was nice talking to you. I'm gonna go back to work now.
Okay, love you. Bye. Bye.
Okay, bye.
I love you.
That was so chaotic. I'm not sure if that was the best demo, but either way, that's what I feel like kind of FaceTime normally is. I could already tell it just felt so much more natural. Like this is the way, the orientation that the camera should be when you're doing those types of calls. A lot of times during the pandemic, because I was using my iPad predominantly for a lot of calls, I would have to go like this. So I'd be doing my conference calls like that. Not quite ideal, but it still worked. This is just such a better form factor. So super excited about this. So I definitely feel like this iPad is a big upgrade from the previous gen. The colors are incredible. So this iPad, I kind of feel like ranges somewhere in between sort of a student and professional. There is a huge range of iPads right now. So I feel like if you're trying to choose which one is right for you, it is kind of difficult because there are so many different models. There's so many different versions. What do you get? I think it really comes down to what do you need and how much are you willing to spend. I do feel like this kind of comes in at a pretty decent price range, starting at $449. But as you add on things, whether it's 5G or some extra storage, that is going to increase the price. I do feel like this is a pretty good iPad for students or professionals who don't really need the professionalness of an iPad Pro. You can still do illustrating, you can still do a lot of various things on this, where the iPad mini may be something that is geared towards children. So really this kind of checks a lot of different boxes, and the fact that they do have these really pretty colors is definitely something that I'm excited about. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. This was so much fun. I'm so excited that there's some new iPads out. I also have some other videos unboxing these and also a video on the iPad Pro, so be sure to check those out here on the end screen. And I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when I post new videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.